I would say hide the kids. I think the kids need to see this. So you know what? It's going to happen eventually. Let's just dive into this. Texas A&M yell leaders. What do we think? Anyone who's watched a Texas A&M game, anyone who's familiar with Aggie football, you have seen those guys on the sidelines. It's different. It's unique unto anything else in college football. I think we need to have a serious discussion about this. A video has mysteriously resurfaced, and it shows the yell leaders practicing their yells, and it's not happening in front of 105,000 people. It's in the stadium there at Kyle Field, but it's just quiet. And the thing about it is you never see them do that stuff quietly. You hear a bunch of ambient noise because there's a big crowd. Well, I don't want to ruin it for you. Colin's got the video ready. We're about to tee it up, but I caution you, if you've never seen this before, it's going to strike you a little sideways. Let's roll it, Colin.
Pass it back, Eggs!
Pass it back, Eggs!
Hump it, Eggs!
Hump it, Eggs!
1, 2, 3!
Hey!
Dig 'em, Aggies! Hey!
Woo!
Pass it back, Eggs!
Pass it back, Eggs!
Hump it, Eggs!
Hump it, Eggs!
1, 2, 3!
A-G-G-I-E-S! A-G-G-I-E-S! Hey! Fight 'em, Aggies! Hey! Woo!
Sorry, I was practicing some of the arm motions. Let me ask you a question. Why do you love college football? Just say it out loud as you think it. Why do you love college football? A lot of you are saying the word tradition right now. You love tradition, and I love tradition. Love it. Love it like nothing else in sports, and you love the pageantry, and you probably love a lot of the same stuff on Saturday that I love. My question to you is, what is tradition? What is pageantry? What does it look like to you? Because let me tell you what it's not. It's not the same thing rinsed and repeated in every venue you go to. You can get that on Sundays. It's called pro sports, and the NFL's great. It's the greatest football product on earth, but the environment's pale in comparison to college football. The reason is because we got different things in different corners of the country in the Saturday game that they may not have necessarily in the Sunday game. I say that to say this. You may have thought I was about to hate on those dudes. You may have thought I was about to try and dunk on A&M tradition. It's weird to me, too. Here's the difference between me and an alarming number of my quote-unquote college football diehard buddies on the iJosh. I look at this weirdness and I say, wow, that's weird. Oh, good for them. That's tradition to me. Like, that's what it looks like. I want to go to your college football stadium and see you doing some unique and maybe just outright weird stuff that I don't see anywhere else. I could go to 58 different stadiums Saturday and hear them sing Hey Caroline or Sweet Caroline. I could go watch the Wave anywhere. I could go listen to the same 15 songs be blasted over the PA system. That's not tradition. This stuff's tradition. I don't really care whether you get it or not. I told you, I grew up in Georgia, and I didn't know anything about A&M. I thought it was just as weird as everyone else. I've been out there several times now, so I've kind of taken a step inside the bubble. It's not so bad in there. It's not so bad, especially if you wear the white T-shirt. They really think you're one of them, and it is really not so bad. All I'm saying is think about your own family. Think about your uncle that, has you pull his finger at Christmas, and then if you pull it just right, he'll tell you a ghost story or something like that. That stuff's weird. Every one of you has some weird stuff in your family that from the street, from outside the window, looks at best weird or at worst felonious, really creepy. It's yours. That's why it looks weird to every other person, because it's not theirs. It's yours. Yell leaders, those dudes, that's A&M. Frankly, it doesn't matter to me if I think it's weird. It certainly doesn't matter to me if you think it's weird. And I can confidently tell you they don't care if you think it's weird. It's theirs. I actually would love for something like that, strange though this may sound, I'd love for stuff like that to exist at every stadium I go to. A lot of them do have unique things. To me, that's the beauty of college football. I don't even have to love everything. it's kind of like opinion. I don't have to love every opinion to respect diversity of opinion, even in our space. And so I feel the same way about that. But when we were talking about this earlier today, I brought this up on Twitter. When we were talking about this earlier today, I said, I think I'm going to discuss this on the show tonight. And a lot of people started to say different things. And then I had what I would confidently say is the wildest conspiracy theory about late kick to date thrown at me. So basically, I said I'm going to talk about this on the show tonight. Paul comes back and says, oh, you're going to talk about more Aggie stuff, huh? There's that bias again. And I kind of sarcastically said, yeah, man, I grew up in West Central Georgia, really strong A&M country there. And he comes back, Paul comes back and says, quote, no, you just happen to share a massive Aggie sponsor. I live in Houston. Brand consulting is one of my functional areas. I'm not naive. It's cool. This is the first time anyone's hit me with this. And to be clear, if you don't know what Paul is saying, Texas A&M is right in the backyard of Academy Sports and Outdoors headquarters. Our buddies over at TexAgs are also sponsored by Academy. And Paul basically has uncovered the scandal of the century, and that is that a publicly traded company, Academy Sports and Outdoors, has taken their marketing budget and has funneled money to national college football hosts to speak positively about their personal favorite teams. Again, this is a publicly traded company. So never mind what that actually means in real world terms. Forget about all that. Let's just go down this road for a second. Do we think there's validity to this? Am I on the take from Academy? Do I have a Texas A&M lick and stick tattoo on my lower back right now that runs the duration of our deal with Academy? Do we think it's possible is all I'm asking. Don't give me a definitive yes or no. Do I seem like the kind of guy who would have done that? Because the more I thought about it today, the more I went from saying that's ridiculous to thinking to myself, you know, maybe that's not the wildest conspiracy theory I've ever heard. Because maybe I look in the mirror, maybe I am the kind of guy who would do that. Real talk. I've never considered that until today. Real talk. Texas A&M has come up in my conversations with our Academy reps, but so is Texas. So is USC. Strangely, so is Minnesota. And so, yeah, they actually, believe it or not, at a company of this size, have a number of different rooting interests because, again, believe it or not, at a company of this size, they have this crazy scheme to turn a profit in places other than just East Central Texas. So I think we're safe for now. There is no considerable pro-Aggie propaganda on the show, at least not that I can tell. But I did want to defend the Yell leaders tonight. Now, that will be taken in and of itself as pro-Aggie bias because most people have a default position that is anti-Yell leader. I'm just saying I'm pro-tradition in college football, and this is part of tradition in College Station, and I don't really care if it seems unpalatable to you or I because it doesn't have to float our boat. It's Texas A&M. And that's all I wanted to say on the matter. It's not nearly as controversial as power rating Texas above Oklahoma still. You should see some of the videos and responses I've gotten to that.